Imagine for just 3 days you speak to yourself with absolute love, certainty, and faith in your own abilities. Speak to yourself as though the world has already given you everything you desire. See yourself as already having achieved your goals, as already being the person you are striving to become. For these 3 days, let go of doubt, let go of fear, and let go of any belief that you are less than whole, less than powerful, or less than deserving. Instead, speak to yourself as the creator of your life, as the one who holds the power to shape every single moment. When you look in the mirror, speak words that affirm the greatness within you. Tell yourself that you are worthy, that you are loved, and that you are unstoppable. Your words have power, and for these 3 days, your words will be the seed that grows into the reality you seek. Do not speak to yourself in terms of limitation or past failures. Speak only of possibilities of success and of your vision coming to life right now. As you move through your day, when challenges arise, remind yourself that you are the master of your experience. When you encounter a setback, instead of seeing it as a roadblock, see it as a stepping stone to greater things. When fear creeps in, remind yourself that you are greater than anything that can stand in your way. Say to yourself, I am capable. I am worthy. I am becoming the person I've always dreamed of. These 3 days are not simply about changing your words, they are about changing your mind. It's not just about affirming something outside of you, it's about realizing that everything you need is already within you. By speaking to yourself with this new understanding, you activate the power that is already yours. You are the creator of your own reality, and you shape it with every thought and every word. Speak to yourself like this for just 3 days, and you will see the world begin to shift around you. Your circumstances, your relationships, and your opportunities will reflect the belief you have in yourself. Because when you speak with conviction, the universe has no choice but to align with your vision. Just 3 days of speaking with faith and love can set the course of your life in a completely new direction. What are you waiting for? Start now. Speak to yourself with the knowing that all things are possible, that you are already living the life you want. The power is in your words, and these words are shaping your future. When you begin to speak to yourself with this level of intention, something incredible begins to happen. You start to see yourself through a lens of limitless possibility, rather than through the filters of past experiences or the judgments of others. The way you perceive the world changes because you've shifted the way you see yourself. For too long, you may have allowed yourself to be defined by external factors: your job, your relationships, your finances, the opinions of others. These are all surface-level realities, temporary and fleeting, yet we often let them determine our worth, our happiness, and our sense of purpose. But when you speak to yourself in a way that reflects your highest potential, you free yourself from the limitations that the world attempts to place on you. You see yourself as the powerful, creative being you truly are, and that vision becomes your guiding light. In that vision, you are not bound by the circumstances of today, but instead you rise above them, transforming them through the power of your thoughts and words. As you engage in this practice of self-talk for 3 days, recognize that it is not just a temporary exercise. It is a fundamental shift in your consciousness, a rewiring of your mind to think in terms of possibility rather than lack, to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to recognize your ability to create your reality instead of merely reacting to it. You are not at the mercy of life, you are the force that shapes life. The beauty of speaking to yourself in this empowering way is that it does not require anything external to change for it to take effect. In fact, the more you engage in this practice, the more you begin to realize that the only thing that needs to change is you. The outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world, and when you align your thoughts and words with your vision of who you truly are, the universe has no choice but to reflect that back to you. You will begin to notice shifts in the people you interact with, in your career, in your health, and in your finances. Opportunities will present themselves where there were none before, and doors will open that you never thought possible. All of this happens because you have changed your perception, and in doing so, You have changed the frequency you are vibrating at. For these 3 days, remember that you are not waiting for permission from anyone to begin living the life you desire. You do not need approval, validation, or recognition from the world to step into your greatness. You are already worthy of everything you seek. When you speak to yourself with love, with conviction, with certainty, you begin to recognize your innate power. You are the creator of your own story, and it is time to step into that role with confidence. It's crucial to understand that these 3 days are not about forcing yourself to believe something that feels false or untrue. This is not about putting on a facade or pretending to be something you are not. It is about stepping into the truth of who you are. It's about shedding the layers of self-doubt, insecurity, and fear that have accumulated over time. When you speak to yourself in this elevated way, you are simply allowing your true self to emerge from beneath all the false beliefs and limitations you have placed upon yourself. In these 3 days, you will notice that old patterns of thinking begin to dissolve. The negative thoughts, the self-criticism, the feelings of inadequacy, all of these things will start to lose their grip on you. You will feel lighter, freer, and more at peace with yourself. You will begin to recognize that you are not bound by your past. Your past does not define you. The choices you made, the mistakes you've made, the failures you've experienced, none of these have any bearing on who you are now. You are not the sum of your past. You are the creator of your future. This realization is both liberating and empowering. It means that no matter where you have been, no matter what you have experienced, you have the power to reinvent yourself at any moment. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are a co-creator with the universe, capable of shaping your reality in alignment with your deepest desires. All it takes is a shift in perception, a recognition that you are already whole, already powerful, already worthy of everything you want. As you continue to speak to yourself in this new way, you will begin to notice a shift in your energy. You will feel more alive, more vibrant, and more connected to your higher self. The negative energy that once held you back will dissipate, replaced by an inner knowing that you are on the right path, that you are supported by the universe, and that everything you desire is already making its way to you. You may notice that the people around you start to respond differently. As you begin to embody this new way of thinking and speaking, you will naturally attract people who align with this higher version of yourself. Negative, draining relationships will begin to fade away, while new, supportive relationships will begin to take their place. You will find that the people you encounter are more open, more loving, and more willing to help you achieve your goals. This is not a coincidence, it is the result of the energy you are now radiating. Like attracts like, and as you raise your vibration through positive self-talk and empowering beliefs, you begin to attract everything that is in alignment with that energy. Of course, there will be moments during these 3 days when doubt will try to creep in. Your mind will try to convince you that this is too good to be true, that it can't be that simple, that you're not capable of achieving your dreams. But in those moments, you must remind yourself that you are in control. You are the one who decides what you believe. You are the one who chooses how you perceive your circumstances. You are the one who has the power to transform your life with your thoughts and words. You are the creator of your reality. So when doubt arises, simply acknowledge it without judgment, and then gently replace it with a thought that empowers you. For example, if you start to feel anxious about money, instead of saying, "I'll never have enough," say, "I am a magnet for abundance. Money flows to me effortlessly, and I am always provided for." If you begin to doubt your ability to succeed, replace that thought with, "I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. My success is inevitable." The key is consistency. The more you engage in this practice of speaking to yourself with love, certainty, and faith, the more natural it will become. Over time, these positive affirmations will become ingrained in your subconscious mind, and they will begin to influence every aspect of your life. You will find that you no longer need to consciously remind yourself to think positively, because it will become your natural state of being. The world around you is constantly shifting and changing, but you have the power to shape your experience of it. When you change your thoughts, when you change the way you speak to yourself, you change the way you experience the world. And as you continue to speak to yourself with love, with confidence, and with faith in your own abilities, you will find that the world begins to reflect your new beliefs back to you. Opportunities will arise. People will show up to support you. Doors will open in ways you never thought possible. All because you chose to speak to yourself like the powerful creator you are. By the end of these 3 days, you will have created a new habit, a new way of thinking, and a new relationship with yourself. You will no longer be the person who doubts your worth, who questions your abilities, or who allows fear to hold you back. You will be the person who knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are worthy of all the success, happiness, and abundance the world has to offer. But remember, this is just the beginning. The 3 days are only the start of a much larger journey. The foundation you build in these 3 days will support you as you continue to grow and expand. You are always evolving, always becoming more of who you truly are. And with each day that passes, you will find that your life becomes more aligned with your highest desires, more in tune with the abundant, loving energy that flows through you. So speak to yourself with love, speak to yourself with power, and watch as your life begins to transform. You have everything within you to create the life you desire. Trust in your own abilities, trust in the power of your words, and know that you are worthy of everything you seek. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness. When you choose to speak to yourself from a place of love and certainty, you begin to unlock a power within you that has always been there, waiting to be recognized. It is the power to create, to manifest, and to transform your life. You are not merely a passive participant in your reality, you are the creator, the artist, the architect of your experience. And every word you speak to yourself becomes a stroke of the brush that shapes your masterpiece. When you embrace this truth and begin to speak to yourself with intention, you begin to see that there are no limits to what you can achieve. The world around you, the circumstances of your life, are simply reflections of your inner thoughts, beliefs, and words. The way you speak to yourself and the beliefs you hold about your own potential set the tone for everything that comes into your experience. It is through your words, your thoughts, and your beliefs that the outer world begins to take shape. If you want to change the conditions of your life, if you want to create something new, you must start with the foundation of your self-talk. Your inner dialogue is the key to unlocking the life you desire. For these 3 days, commit to speaking to yourself as if everything you want is already yours. Speak to yourself as if you are already the person you aspire to be. See yourself as already living the life you dream of. When you speak in this way, you are aligning yourself with the energy of your desires, and that energy begins to shift your reality. You are no longer waiting for something outside of you to change. You are stepping into the realization that everything you need is already within you. You are the source of your own power, and your words are the means by which you bring that power to life. It's important to understand that speaking to yourself in this way is not about forcing yourself to believe something that feels false or impossible. It's about opening yourself up to the truth of who you are. Deep within you, there is a part of you that knows your own power. There is a part of you that knows that you are worthy of all the success, love, and abundance the universe has to offer. By speaking to yourself in a way that reflects this truth, you are simply bringing that hidden knowledge to the surface. You are allowing your true potential to emerge, free from the limitations that you or others may have placed upon you. When you speak to yourself with love and certainty, you begin to break free from the cycle of self-doubt and fear that has held you back for so long. The negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that once controlled your mind lose their power, and you become free to create the life you truly desire. The thoughts you think about yourself shape your reality, and as you begin to speak to yourself with love, confidence, and conviction, your life begins to mirror that newfound belief in yourself. For these 3 days, choose to see yourself as the person you want to become. See yourself living in the abundance you desire. See yourself healthy, strong, and full of energy. See yourself surrounded by love and supportive relationships. See yourself achieving your goals with ease and grace. Speak to yourself as if all of this is already true. Every time you think about your life, speak to yourself as if everything is already in place. Every time a doubt arises, replace it with a thought that affirms your greatness. When you begin to speak to yourself in this way, you are aligning your thoughts with the reality you want to create. You are no longer a passive observer of your life, you are an active creator of your experience. As you continue to practice this powerful self-talk, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your outer world. Opportunities will begin to present themselves. People will show up to support you in ways you never imagined. You will begin to attract circumstances that align with your vision of the life you want to live. This is not a coincidence, it is the natural result of the energy you are now radiating. When you speak to yourself with love, confidence, and certainty, you send out a signal to the universe that says, I am worthy of everything I desire. I am ready to receive all the good that is coming to me. The universe responds to this energy by bringing into your life the people, the opportunities, and the circumstances that match that vibration. It's important to remember that this process is not about waiting for something to happen. It's about recognizing that everything you desire is already available to you. You are not asking the universe for anything, you are simply aligning yourself with the reality that already exists. Your desires are already on their way to you. The moment you begin to speak to yourself as if your dreams are already a reality, you begin to open the door for them to come to you. The universe does not need to work on your behalf, it simply responds to the energy you put out. When you speak from a place of certainty and love, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive. In these 3 days, you will also begin to notice that your self-worth increases. The more you speak to yourself with love and conviction, the more you will begin to see yourself as deserving of all the good things life has to offer. You will begin to recognize that you are not a victim of circumstances, but rather a co-creator with the universe. You are not waiting for someone else to validate you or give you permission to succeed, you are giving yourself that validation. You are recognizing your own worth, your own value, and your own power. And as you do, the world around you will begin to reflect that newfound sense of self-worth. The people you encounter will treat you with the respect and love you deserve. The opportunities you attract will align with your vision of success. You will no longer accept less than you are worthy of. It's also important to understand that the 3 days are just the beginning. This practice of speaking to yourself with love and certainty can continue for the rest of your life. As you continue to speak to yourself in this way, you will find that your life continues to improve. Your circumstances will continue to evolve, and your success will continue to grow. Every time you speak to yourself with love and confidence, you are reinforcing the belief that you are the creator of your reality. You are reminding yourself that you have the power to shape your life according to your desires. And as you continue to do so, your reality will continue to shift in alignment with your inner vision. You are not a passive observer in this process. You are an active participant. You are not waiting for the universe to deliver your desires to you. You are creating the conditions that allow your desires to manifest. The moment you begin to speak to yourself with love, with certainty, and with the knowing that all things are possible, you begin to create a space for your desires to come into your life. Your thoughts and words are powerful. And when you speak with a full awareness of your own creative potential, the world begins to align with that awareness. During these 3 days, allow yourself to fully embrace the idea that everything you desire is already within your reach. Your dreams are not distant or unattainable, they are right here, waiting for you to step into them. You are not waiting for something to happen, you are simply allowing what is already yours to come into your experience. Speak to yourself as if everything you desire is already here. Speak with the confidence of someone who knows that their desires are already manifesting. Speak with the certainty of someone who knows that they are worthy of everything they want. As you continue this practice, you will begin to see more clearly the connection between your thoughts, words, and the circumstances of your life. The more you speak to yourself with love, with confidence, and with certainty, the more you will begin to see the results of your efforts in the form of new opportunities, new relationships, and new successes. You will begin to see that the life you have always dreamed of is already on its way to you. And all it took was a shift in your self-talk, a shift in the way you see yourself, and a recognition of your own power. Remember, this is just the beginning. The 3 days are a powerful start, but the work doesn't end there. As you continue to speak to yourself with love and certainty, you will continue to create the life you desire. You will continue to expand, to grow, and to step into your highest potential. Your journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. Keep speaking to yourself with love, keep speaking with conviction, and watch as your world transforms in ways you never thought possible. Your words have power, and with every word you speak, you are creating the life you deserve. By speaking to yourself with love and confidence, you are tapping into the energy of the universe, which responds to the vibration you emit. It's not about waiting for the world to conform to your desires, it's about aligning your thoughts, your beliefs, and your words with the energy of the life you want to live. When you do this, you align yourself with the natural flow of creation. You stop fighting against the current of your own potential and begin to move in harmony with it. The words you speak to yourself shape your reality, and as you begin to speak from a place of self-love, gratitude, and power, your world will begin to reflect that. It's not always easy to make this shift. The mind is often conditioned to doubt, to question, and to second guess. But this is the very reason why you must persist. Every time you speak to yourself with love and certainty, you are retraining your mind, rewiring the neural pathways that have held you back. With each positive, empowering thought, you are breaking free from the old patterns that have kept you stuck in fear and limitation. When you choose to speak words of love and faith, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to believe in your greatness. And when your subconscious mind accepts this new reality, your outer world begins to reflect it. The 3 days of practicing this self-talk are a powerful beginning, but they are just the start of a lifelong transformation. The beauty of this process is that there is no end to it. The more you practice, the more you will continue to evolve and grow. As you continue to speak to yourself with love, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your reality. People will begin to treat you differently. Opportunities will present themselves in unexpected ways, and you will begin to feel an inner peace and confidence that was once foreign to you. This is the natural result of the energy you are emitting. When you speak to yourself with love and belief, you are aligning with the universe in a way that attracts your desires effortlessly. As you continue this practice, you will also notice that your self-worth will increase. When you begin to speak to yourself with love, you are telling yourself that you are worthy of everything you desire. You are affirming your value, your worth, and your greatness. This is one of the most profound changes that will take place within you. Many people go through life believing they are not worthy of love, success, or happiness. But as you continue to speak to yourself with love and confidence, you will begin to recognize the truth: you are worthy of everything you desire. You are worthy of love, success, abundance, and all the good things life has to offer. When you know this truth, you stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop settling for circumstances that do not honor your worth. You begin to demand that your life reflect the greatness within you. This shift in self-worth will have a profound effect on every area of your life. The people you encounter will begin to treat you with the respect and love you deserve. Your relationships will grow deeper and more fulfilling because you are no longer settling for relationships that do not reflect your true value. You will attract people who recognize your worth and who are aligned with your desires. This includes both personal relationships and professional connections. As you speak to yourself with love and certainty, you create an energetic field that attracts the right people into your life. You will begin to surround yourself with people who encourage you, who support you, and who help you rise to your full potential. The change you are creating within yourself will also have a ripple effect on the opportunities that come your way. As your self-talk shifts and your confidence grows, you will begin to see new doors open to you. Opportunities will appear where there were once obstacles. You will no longer struggle to make things happen, because you will be in the flow of your desires. The universe responds to the energy you emit, and when you speak to yourself with love, certainty, and gratitude, the universe will respond by bringing you the opportunities and circumstances that match your vibration. This shift is not about waiting for the universe to deliver what you desire. It's about aligning yourself with the reality that you want to experience. You are not asking for things to happen, you are stepping into the energy of already having it. When you speak to yourself in this way, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive. Your desires are already on their way to you. It is only a matter of you being in alignment with them. As you speak to yourself with love, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of your desires. This alignment causes your outer world to shift, bringing your desires into manifestation. This practice of speaking to yourself with love, certainty, and faith is the key to breaking free from the limitations that have held you back. For so long, you may have believed that you were limited by your circumstances, by your past, or by the opinions of others. But as you begin to speak to yourself from a place of power, you will begin to realize that there are no limits. There is nothing standing in your way. You have the power to create the life you desire simply by changing the way you think and speak. The beauty of this process is that it is simple. You do not need to complicate things. You do not need to wait for the perfect circumstances. You do not need to try and manipulate the world around you. All you need to do is speak to yourself with love, and the rest will fall into place. Your words have the power to shape your reality, and as you continue to practice this self-talk, you will begin to see the transformation that takes place, both within you and in the world around you. You are not just creating a life of success and abundance. You are creating a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. You are aligning yourself with the energy of the universe, and as you do, you will feel a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. When you speak to yourself with love, you are not only changing your external circumstances, you are also changing your internal state. You will begin to feel more confident, more centered, and more at peace with who you are. You will no longer seek validation from outside sources because you will have found it within yourself. This inner peace and confidence will spill over into every area of your life. You will approach challenges with a sense of calm and assurance, knowing that you have the power to overcome anything that comes your way. You will begin to see obstacles as opportunities for growth, and you will navigate through life with a sense of ease and grace. Your self-worth will continue to grow, and you will begin to take inspired action toward your goals, knowing that you are fully capable of achieving them. The 3 days of practicing this self-talk are just the beginning, and the results will continue to unfold as you persist. The more you speak to yourself with love and certainty, the more you will align with your highest potential. The more you speak to yourself from a place of power, the more the world around you will reflect that power. Your desires are not far off in the distance, they are already here, within you, waiting to be realized. All it takes is a shift in how you speak to yourself, and the world will begin to shift with you. As you continue to speak to yourself with love, gratitude, and belief, you will find that your life becomes a reflection of everything you have ever dreamed of. You are the creator of your reality, and your words are the tools that allow you to shape it. The moment you choose to speak to yourself in this way, you unlock the power that has always been within you. You are the master of your destiny, and everything you desire is already on its way to you. Speak with love. Speak with certainty, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. The key to effortless manifestation lies in understanding the profound relationship between your imagination and your reality. What you see in the world around you is nothing more than a reflection of what you hold within. If you seek to change the outer, you must first turn inward and align your inner vision with your desires. Creation begins not in action but in stillness. It is in the silence of your mind, in the vividness of your imagination, that all things are made real. Close your eyes and feel the truth of what you desire as though it is already yours. Do not wait for evidence to appear in the external world before you believe it instead. Know that what you hold as true within must manifest without. The world is but a mirror, faithfully reflecting the state of your consciousness. If you feel lack, the world will confirm it. But if you feel abundance, the world has no choice but to unfold in alignment with your belief. The secret is not in striving, but in accepting. Effortless manifestation comes when you no longer see your desire as something distant, something you must chase or earn. Instead, you live in the certainty that it is already yours. You dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is not the longing for something that brings it into being, but the quiet knowing that it is done. Shift your focus from asking to receiving. When you pray or affirm, do so from a place of gratitude, not lack. See yourself as the person who already has what they desire. Feel the joy, the relief, and the fulfillment as if it were happening now. Let this state of being saturate your mind, and the world will rearrange itself to reflect your inner conviction. Doubt has no place in this process. To doubt is to deny the power within you. Instead, trust the unseen forces that respond to your imagination. Trust that your consciousness is the only reality. When you truly believe in the reality of your desire, the physical world will align effortlessly. Manifestation is not about struggle or effort. It is about aligning your inner state with your desired outcome. Live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Trust the process and allow the unseen to bring it to pass. What you hold in your imagination, you will hold in your hands. All that is required is faith in the power that lies within you and the courage to assume that what you desire is already yours. Manifestation is a natural law, as effortless and inevitable as the rising of the sun. What you are conscious of being is what you experience in your reality. The external world is not separate from you, but an extension of your inner state. To change what you see, you must begin by changing how you feel, think, and believe. There is no struggle in this process, no need for force or willpower. The key is to trust the creative power within you and let it work through the stillness of your imagination. To manifest effortlessly, you must first understand that the foundation of all creation is the feeling of already having what you desire. This is not a process of wishing or hoping, for these states imply separation from your desire. Instead, it is a quiet, confident knowing that what you seek is already yours. You must live as though the thing you desire has already been realized. Dwell in the feeling not as a visitor, but as a permanent resident. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. In the silence of your mind, you have the power to mold and shape reality. Picture your desire vividly and with detail, but more than picturing it, feel it. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the peace that comes with its realization. Let this feeling saturate your being. The more real it feels to you within, the sooner it will appear in the world without. The outer world is but a shadow of your inner world, reflecting every thought and feeling you hold as true. There is no effort in creation when you align yourself with the natural laws of the universe. Effort implies resistance, and resistance stems from doubt. Doubt, in turn, arises from a belief in separation, that your desire is something outside of you, something you must attain. But this is an illusion. All things are already within you, waiting to be expressed. When you release the idea of separation and embrace the truth of oneness, you allow your desires to flow effortlessly into your experience. Many people make the mistake of thinking they must struggle, work harder, or fight against circumstances to bring their desires into reality. But this approach often creates more resistance, for it is rooted in the belief that the external world holds the power. In truth, the external world is powerless. It is nothing more than a reflection of your consciousness. Change your consciousness, and the world must change in response. To manifest effortlessly, you must learn to let go of the need to control how the mind often wants to know the exact steps, the specific means by which the desired outcome will occur. But the how is not your concern. Your role is to decide what you want and to live in the feeling of its fulfillment. The unseen intelligence within you will orchestrate the means. Trust this intelligence. It knows no limitations, no obstacles. It operates with precision and perfection, bringing all things into alignment with your belief. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between imagination and reality. Faith is not merely belief, it is the unwavering conviction that what you desire is already yours. When you have faith, you rest in the assurance that the universe is working on your behalf. You no longer feel the need to chase or strive because you know it is done. This state of restful confidence is the hallmark of effortless manifestation. Every moment of your life you are manifesting something, whether you realize it or not. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are constantly shaping your reality. The question is not whether you are manifesting, but whether you are manifesting consciously. To manifest effortlessly, you must take control of your inner world. Pay attention to your dominant thoughts and feelings. Are they aligned with what you want, or are they reinforcing what you do not want? The key is to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. This is not a one-time exercise, but a way of being. Every time doubt or fear arises, gently bring your focus back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not fight against negative thoughts, simply replace them with the vision of your desire. Over time, this practice will become natural, and your subconscious mind will accept your assumption as truth. Once it does, the manifestation becomes inevitable. Gratitude is another powerful tool for effortless manifestation. When you feel gratitude, you affirm that you already have what you desire. Gratitude aligns your energy with abundance and opens the door for more blessings to flow into your life. Take a moment each day to feel deep appreciation for the fulfillment of your desire, as though it has already come to pass. This simple practice can transform your consciousness and accelerate the manifestation process. It is also important to remember that time is an illusion. The manifestation of your desire is not bound by the constraints of linear time. When you live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you collapse the distance between the present moment and the realization of your desire. It may appear to take time in the physical world, but in truth, the manifestation has already occurred the moment you assume it to be true. Trust in this process and remain patient. The timing is always perfect. Do not be discouraged by appearances. The external world may sometimes seem to contradict your inner vision, but this is merely a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Do not let these appearances shake your faith. Continue to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the outer world will eventually conform to your inner state. Your persistence and unwavering conviction are what bring about the transformation. You must also cultivate a sense of detachment. Detachment does not mean giving up on your desire, it means releasing the need for it to happen in a specific way or within a specific time frame. When you are detached, you trust that the universe is working on your behalf, even if you cannot yet see the evidence. Detachment frees you from the grip of fear and doubt, allowing the manifestation to unfold effortlessly. The process of manifestation is like planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to see if it is growing. Instead, you trust that the seed will sprout in its own time, as long as you provide the right conditions. In the same way, once you have planted the seed of your desire in your imagination, your only task is to nurture it with faith, gratitude, and persistence. The harvest is inevitable. Your imagination is your most powerful tool. It is the creative force that shapes your reality. Do not underestimate its power. Use it deliberately and with intention. When you imagine something vividly and with feeling, you activate the creative energy within you. This energy knows no limits. It can bring about miracles, dissolve obstacles, and create opportunities where none seem to exist. Remember, the key to effortless manifestation is not in doing but in being. Be the person who already has what they desire. Feel the emotions, think the thoughts, and take the actions of someone who is living their dream. This state of being naturally attracts the circumstances, people, and events that align with your vision. It is not about forcing things to happen, it is about allowing them to unfold. Let go of resistance. Resistance comes from fear, doubt, and a belief in lack. These emotions block the flow of manifestation and create unnecessary struggle. Instead, focus on the feelings of love, joy, and abundance. These emotions are aligned with the creative power of the universe and open the channels for your desires to manifest. Your ability to manifest is not limited by external circumstances or conditions. The only limitation is your own belief. If you believe something is possible, it is. If you believe something is impossible, it is. Your beliefs shape your reality. Choose beliefs that empower you and align with your desires. The journey of manifestation is one of self-discovery. As you learn to align your inner world with your desires, you come to realize the immense power within you. You are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your reality. This realization is liberating and transformative. There is no need for struggle, no need for effort. The key to effortless manifestation is to align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the reality you wish to experience. Live in the end, dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and trust the process. The power within you is limitless, and when you harness it, there is nothing you cannot create. Effortless manifestation begins with the understanding that there is no external force acting upon you, the power is within. To grasp this is to realize that everything you experience is a projection of your consciousness. You are the operant power. It is not about waiting for circumstances to align, nor is it about manipulating the external world into submission. Manifestation is a recognition of your creative authority and your responsibility for what unfolds in your life. What does it mean to take responsibility for your reality? It means understanding that every moment, consciously or unconsciously, you are shaping your world. If you see lack, ask yourself what thoughts you have entertained. If you feel trapped, ask yourself what limitations you have accepted as true. Nothing comes into your experience uninvited. To change what you see, you must first change what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. All creation begins with a single assumption. What do you assume to be true about yourself? Do you see yourself as someone who struggles, who is unworthy, or who must fight for every good thing? If so, your world will reflect those beliefs. But if you assume you are loved, abundant, and supported, then life will show you evidence of these truths. Your assumptions shape your reality. You cannot hold two contradictory assumptions at the same time. You must choose. Will you align yourself with the version of reality where your desires are fulfilled, or will you remain bound to the version of reality where they are absent? The choice is always yours. When you choose to live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you claim your creative power. Living from the state of the wish fulfilled is not pretending or acting as if. It is the deep inner conviction that your desire is already yours. It is the acceptance of this truth at the core of your being. This is not about fooling the world or yourself, it is about aligning your consciousness with the reality you want to experience. When you fully embody this state, you no longer question or doubt. You know it is done. Doubt is the greatest obstacle to effortless manifestation. Doubt arises when you look to the outer world for confirmation of your desire. But the outer world is merely a shadow, a reflection of your past thoughts and feelings. It cannot give you evidence of what you have not yet accepted as true within. To dissolve doubt, you must turn away from appearances and anchor yourself in the unseen reality of your imagination. Imagination is not fantasy, it is creation. It is the act of bringing into form that which does not yet exist in the physical world. When you imagine vividly and with feeling, you activate the creative power within you. You call forth the unseen into being. This is why feeling is the secret. Your feelings are the energy that animates your vision and brings it to life. To feel something deeply and consistently is to claim it as your reality. If you feel fear, you give life to that fear. If you feel joy, you give life to that joy. Your feelings are the bridge between your inner world and your outer world. By mastering your feelings, you master your reality. Many people ask how to sustain the feeling of the wish fulfilled when the outer world seems to contradict it. The answer is persistence. Persistence is not effort or struggle, it is the quiet determination to remain faithful to your inner vision, regardless of what you see around you. It is the decision to trust your imagination over appearances. When you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the creative force that brings your desires into form. It does not question or reason, it simply acts upon the impressions you give it. When you persist in your assumption, the subconscious mind accepts it as truth and works tirelessly to make it a reality. But you must be patient. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, so too does your manifestation take time to materialize. This is not a delay or a test, it is the natural unfolding of creation. Trust the process. Know that once you have impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind, it is already done. The physical world will catch up in due time. So do not confuse patience with passivity. Patience is active. It is the quiet confidence that your desire is on its way. It is the refusal to entertain doubt or fear. It is the steadfast commitment to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, no matter what. This kind of patience is a powerful force. It demonstrates your faith in the unseen and your mastery over your inner world. Faith is not a blind leap, it is the assurance of things unseen. It is the knowing that the creative power within you cannot fail. When you have faith, you do not question or waver. You rest in the certainty that what you have imagined is already yours. This faith is the foundation of effortless manifestation. The beauty of this process is that it requires no effort, no struggle. Effort implies resistance, and resistance creates blocks. Manifestation is not about forcing things into being, it is about allowing them to unfold. When you align yourself with the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you open the channels for manifestation to occur naturally and effortlessly. Allow yourself to dream freely and without limitation. Many people limit their desires because they believe they are not worthy or because they cannot see how it could happen. But the how is not your concern. Your only task is to decide what you want and to live in the feeling of its fulfillment. The creative power within you will take care of the rest. Do not let fear or doubt shrink your vision. You are capable of manifesting anything you truly desire. The only limits are the ones you place upon yourself. Remove these limits by expanding your imagination and daring to believe in the impossible. When you do, you will find that the impossible becomes possible, and the unseen becomes seen. There is a rhythm to creation, a divine order that cannot be rushed. Trust this rhythm. Do not let impatience or frustration disturb your inner state. These emotions create resistance and delay your manifestation. Instead, cultivate a sense of ease and flow. Know that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot yet see the full picture. Your desires are not random, they are the whispers of the infinite within you. They are a call to expand, to grow, and to experience more of life. Honor your desires by trusting in their fulfillment. When you trust, you release resistance and allow the creative power within you to bring your desires into form. Effortless manifestation is not a technique, it is a way of being. It is the natural result of aligning your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the reality you wish to experience. When you live in this state of alignment, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. It is not something you do, it is something you are. The power to create is within you, waiting to be awakened. You do not need to seek it or earn it, it is already yours. All that is required is your willingness to believe in it and to use it. When you do, you will discover that there is no limit to what you can create. Trust in the process. Trust in yourself. Trust in the unseen power that moves through you and as you. This is the key to effortless manifestation, the quiet, confident knowing that all things are possible and that what you desire is already yours. When you embrace this truth, you will find that life flows with ease and grace, and your desires unfold effortlessly before you. The process of effortless manifestation becomes a way of life when you surrender to the knowing that you are always creating. There is no pause in the creative process. Even when you believe you are doing nothing, your inner world continues to project itself outward, shaping your reality moment by moment. This is why awareness is vital. You must take care of the seeds you plant in your mind because they inevitably grow into the circumstances of your life. Many believe they must wrestle with their desires, striving to force them into existence. But true creation is not a matter of struggle, it is a matter of surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up or resigning yourself to lack. It means yielding to the truth that what you desire is already yours. The act of surrender shifts your focus away from effort and toward trust in the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all things. To surrender is to let go of control, not to abandon your vision, but to stop interfering with its manifestation. It is the art of stepping back and allowing the unseen forces within you to work freely. When you surrender, you release the resistance born of doubt, fear, and impatience. You let the creative power flow unimpeded, bringing your desires into being effortlessly. The question arises, how does one surrender? Surrender begins with acceptance. Accept where you are, not as a permanent condition, but as the starting point for transformation. Resistance to the present moment binds you to it, while acceptance frees you to move forward. When you accept your current reality without judgment or frustration, you open the door to change. Acceptance is not the same as approval. You do not have to love your present circumstances, but you must acknowledge them as the result of your past assumptions. This acknowledgement gives you the power to choose differently. By accepting what is, you reclaim your creative authority and can redirect your focus toward what you wish to experience. Redirecting your focus requires discipline, not in the sense of effort or struggle, but in the sense of consistency. It is about consistently returning to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, no matter how many times doubt or fear may try to pull you away. This discipline of mind is the foundation of effortless manifestation. Your mind is like a compass, and your feelings are the needle. Wherever your feelings are directed, your reality will follow. If you allow your feelings to be swayed by the external world, your compass will lose its direction, and you will wander aimlessly. But when you take charge of your feelings and direct them toward the fulfillment of your desires, you chart a clear course toward your desired reality. This is why it is essential to guard your mind against negative influences. The world is full of opinions, fears, and doubts that can seep into your consciousness if you are not vigilant. Do not allow the noise of the world to drown out the still, small voice of your inner knowing. Protect your mental environment as you would a garden, weeding out thoughts that do not serve you and nurturing those that do. In the stillness of your imagination, you can create without interference. Imagination is your sanctuary, a sacred space where you are free to explore and shape your desires without limitation. It is here that you can feel the reality of your wish fulfilled with such clarity and conviction that it becomes more real to you than the physical world. When you dwell in your imagination, you are not escaping reality, you are shaping it. The unseen is more real than the seen because it is the source of all that appears. What you imagine with feeling and belief becomes the blueprint for your external world. This is the law of creation, unchanging and infallible. Many struggle with the idea of believing in something they cannot see. But faith is not about seeing with your eyes, it is about seeing with your heart. When you feel the reality of your desire within, you do not need external proof to convince you. The feeling is your proof. It is the assurance that what you have imagined is already yours. Do not concern yourself with how your desire will manifest. The how is not your responsibility. Your task is to define your desire clearly and to live in the feeling of its fulfillment. The creative power within you knows the best way to bring it about, a way that often defies logic and exceeds your expectations. Trust this power to work in ways that you cannot foresee. The mind often seeks control, wanting to map out every step and predict every outcome. But this need for control creates tension and blocks the flow of manifestation. Release the need to control and embrace the mystery of creation. The more you trust in the unseen, the more effortless your manifestations become. Effortlessness does not mean passivity. It is an active state of alignment, where your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are in harmony with your desire. This alignment requires vigilance and intention. It is not something you achieve once and forget. It is a daily practice, a way of being. Every moment is an opportunity to choose alignment. When doubt arises, remind yourself of the truth: your imagination is the only reality. When fear creeps in, return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When the world tries to convince you otherwise, stand firm in your inner knowing. This is the work of manifestation, not effort or struggle, but the consistent choice to align with your desire. The outer world will always try to reflect your past assumptions back to you, testing your resolve. Do not be swayed by these appearances. They are but shadows of your old beliefs, fading as your new assumptions take root. Stand firm in your inner vision, and the outer world will eventually conform. Patience is key. But patience does not mean waiting. It means remaining steadfast in your assumption, knowing that the timing of manifestation is perfect. The creative power within you operates in divine order, bringing your desires into being at the right time and in the right way. Trust this timing, even if it does not match your expectations. When you trust the process, you free yourself from the burden of worry. Worry is a misuse of imagination, a rehearsal of what you do not want. Instead of worrying, use your imagination to rehearse the fulfillment of your desire. See it, feel it, and live it in your mind until it becomes your dominant reality. Your desires are not arbitrary, they are a call to expand into a greater version of yourself. Each desire is an invitation to step into a new state of being, to explore new possibilities, and to experience more of the infinite potential within you. Honor your desires by believing in their fulfillment. To honor your desires is to honor the creative power within you. You are not separate from this power, you are one with it. When you align with this truth, manifestation becomes effortless. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as the creator of your reality. There is nothing you cannot be, do, or have when you align with the creative power within you. This power is infinite, unbounded, and always available to you. It does not judge or limit, it simply responds to your beliefs and feelings. Use it wisely and with love, and you will create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Effortless manifestation is not a goal to achieve, but a state to embody. It is the natural result of living in harmony with your true nature. When you embrace this way of being, you will find that life flows with ease and grace, and your desires come to you effortlessly, as if by magic. But this is not magic, it is the law of creation, operating perfectly and unfailingly in your life. Take this truth to heart and live it every day. Make your imagination your sanctuary, your feelings your guide, and your faith your foundation. Trust in the unseen, align with your desires, and surrender to the flow of creation. In doing so, you will unlock the key to effortless manifestation and discover the boundless potential of your true self. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you've been striving for, everything you've worked so hard to achieve is already yours. Yes, yours, the life you've dreamed of, the goals you've written down, the love you've longed for, the success you've imagined. They're not some distant reality dangling just out of reach. They're here now, waiting for you to notice them. But here's the twist, most of us don't see it. We've been conditioned to believe that life is a relentless chase. We're told that if we just work a little harder, sacrifice a little more, and wait a little longer, one day we'll have everything we desire. Yet deep inside we feel this quiet unease, this subtle whisper that says, what if it's never enough? So we keep running, caught in an endless loop of wanting and waiting, believing that our happiness lies somewhere out there in the next achievement, the next relationship, or the next opportunity. But what if I told you that this is the greatest illusion of all? What if the real secret isn't in chasing your desires, but in realizing that they've already been given to you? Let me ask you something. Why do you want what you want? Is it really about the thing itself? Or is it about the feeling you believe it will give you? You think that money will bring security, love will bring worthiness, or success will bring fulfillment. But here's the truth: you don't need to wait for those things to feel secure, worthy, or fulfilled. You already possess everything you need to experience those feelings now. And when you realize that, the chase stops. The struggle ends. And something miraculous begins to happen. Your desires start manifesting effortlessly. But wait. I know what you're thinking. If this is true, why does life feel so hard? Why do we struggle, doubt, and fear? Why does it seem like the things we want most are the hardest to get? Stay with me, because this is where the magic lies. By the time we're done, you'll understand why you feel the way you do, why you do the things you do, and most importantly, how to align with the truth that everything you've ever wanted is already yours. You don't need to fight for it. You just need to claim it. And that, my friend, is the moment your life will change forever. From the moment we are born, we seek validation. As infants, we cry to be noticed, to be cared for, to be loved. This need for recognition doesn't disappear as we grow older, it simply evolves. Instead of crying, we strive for achievements, relationships, and material possessions, all in the hope of feeling valued. But the deeper question is this: who are we trying to convince of our worth? Is it others or is it ourselves? Our society teaches us to look outward for approval. We're praised for good grades, celebrated for promotions, and admired for our successes. This external validation becomes the measure of our self-worth. Over time, we begin to believe that without it, we are not enough. We tie our identity to what others think of us, creating a fragile sense of self that rises and falls with the opinions of those around us. This need for validation often drives us to do things we don't even enjoy. We take jobs we dislike, chase goals that don't resonate with us, and mold ourselves into shapes that fit the expectations of others. Why? Because we believe that being accepted by others will make us feel whole. But no matter how much validation we receive, the emptiness remains. It's like trying to fill a bottomless cup. The more we pour in, the more we realize it will never be full. This endless pursuit of approval becomes exhausting. We begin to lose touch with our authentic self. Instead of asking, "What do I want?" we ask, "What will make them like me?" And in doing so, we abandon the very essence of who we are. The tragedy is that most people never realize this. They spend their lives chasing external validation, only to discover, often too late, that it never brings the fulfillment they seek. The truth is, this need for validation is rooted in a fundamental misunderstanding of our nature. We seek approval because we don't believe we are enough as we are. We think we need to prove our worth to the world. But in reality, our worth is inherent. It doesn't come from what we do, achieve, or possess. It simply is. Yet, until we embrace this truth, we will continue to look outside ourselves for something that can only be found within. Our actions are often subtle cries for validation. We post on social media, hoping for likes and comments. We buy expensive things, hoping to impress. We even sacrifice our own happiness to fit into a mold that society deems acceptable. But deep down, we know this isn't the answer. The need for validation creates a cycle of dependency that keeps us trapped, always looking outward instead of inward. And yet, the world around us constantly reinforces this cycle. Advertisements, movies, and even well-meaning friends and family tell us that our worth is tied to external factors. They say, if you just achieve this, buy that, or look like this, you'll be happy. But this is a lie. True happiness and self-worth can never be given to you by someone else. They are things you must discover and claim for yourself. This is why so many of us feel unfulfilled, even when we achieve our goals. We think the next milestone will finally make us feel validated, but it never does. The truth is, the validation we seek isn't out there, it's already within us. And until we realize that, we will continue to search for something we already have, without ever recognizing it. Control is an illusion that most of us cling to. We believe that if we can just control our circumstances, our outcomes, and even the people around us, we can create a life of certainty and security. But life has a way of reminding us, often painfully, that control is not only fleeting, but also a false sense of power. And yet, the need to control drives so much of what we do. This desire stems from a deep-seated fear of the unknown. We are taught to plan, strategize, and prepare for every possibility, believing that doing so will shield us from failure, disappointment, or pain. But no matter how much we prepare, life often unfolds in ways we never anticipated. This unpredictability terrifies us, so we try even harder to control the uncontrollable. Our need for control shows up in subtle ways. We overthink, micromanage, and obsess over details, hoping that by doing so we can avoid mistakes. We hold on to relationships, jobs, and situations that no longer serve us, simply because letting go feels like losing control. And when things don't go as planned, we spiral into frustration, anxiety, or despair, blaming ourselves for not being in control enough. Ironically, the more we try to control, the less control we actually have. Life becomes rigid, and we miss out on opportunities that come from spontaneity and flow. We resist change even when it's necessary because change feels like chaos. But in our resistance, we create more chaos, turning our lives into a battleground between what is and what we want it to be. This constant struggle drains us. It keeps us in a state of tension, always bracing for what might go wrong. We convince ourselves that if we could just control one more thing, everything would fall into place. But deep down, we know this isn't true. Life is too vast, too complex to fit into the tiny box of our control. The more we try to fit it in, the more it pushes back. The truth is, control isn't about forcing outcomes, it's about aligning with them. When we release our grip and trust the flow of life, we discover a kind of control that is far more powerful. It's not about bending life to our will, but about harmonizing with its rhythm. Yet, this kind of control requires something we often resist: surrender. We fear surrender because it feels like giving up, but it's actually the opposite. Surrender is about stepping into a place of trust, where we understand that life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. This perspective shift is profound, but it requires us to let go of our obsession with control. And for most of us, that's easier said than done. As long as we cling to control, we limit ourselves. We restrict the flow of abundance, joy, and opportunities because we're too focused on micromanaging every detail. But when we let go, we create space for miracles to occur. We realize that life has a way of working out, often better than we could have planned. All we have to do is trust. Fear of the unknown is one of the most primal emotions we experience. It's hardwired into our biology, a survival mechanism designed to protect us from danger. But in modern life, this fear often becomes a barrier, not a safeguard. It keeps us from taking risks, pursuing dreams, and stepping into the fullness of who we are. And yet, it's this fear that drives so much of what we do. The unknown is like a dark room. We can't see what's inside, so we hesitate to enter. Our minds fill the void with worst-case scenarios, imagining all the things that could go wrong. This fear paralyzes us, keeping us rooted in what's familiar, even when what's familiar no longer serves us. We stay in jobs we hate, relationships that drain us, and routines that stifle us because the thought of stepping into the unknown feels too risky. But here's the irony: the unknown is where all growth happens. Every great achievement, every life-changing moment begins with a step into uncertainty. The dreams you have, the goals you aspire to, they all lie on the other side of the unknown. Yet instead of embracing it, we resist it. We cling to what we know, even when it's holding us back, because the fear of the unknown feels greater than the discomfort of staying the same. This resistance to the unknown shows up in subtle ways. We procrastinate, make excuses, and convince ourselves that now isn't the right time. We tell ourselves we need more preparation, more resources, or more certainty before we can move forward. But the truth is, no amount of preparation will eliminate the unknown. It's an inherent part of life. Our fear of the unknown is often rooted in a lack of trust in ourselves, trust in life, and trust in the process. We doubt our ability to handle whatever comes our way, so we avoid stepping into situations that challenge us. But this avoidance only reinforces our fear, creating a cycle that keeps us stuck. What we fail to realize is that the unknown isn't our enemy. It's the source of infinite possibilities. The things we desire most, love, success, adventure, all exist in the unknown. By avoiding it, we limit ourselves to a narrow, predictable life. But by stepping into it, we open the door to experiences that can transform us. The unknown is where creativity thrives. It's where new ideas are born, where innovation happens, and where breakthroughs occur. Yet we often avoid it because it feels uncomfortable. But discomfort is the price of growth. If we want to expand, we must be willing to venture into the unknown, even when it feels scary. Every great story, every inspiring journey, begins with a step into the unknown. The hero leaves the safety of home, not knowing what lies ahead, but trusting that the journey will be worth it. We are all heroes of our own stories, and the unknown is our call to adventure. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Scarcity is a deeply ingrained mindset that shapes the way we view the world. It tells us that there is never enough time, money, love, or opportunities. From an early age, we are conditioned to believe that resources are limited and that we must compete with others to secure our share. This belief creates a constant sense of lack, driving many of the decisions we make. The scarcity mindset often manifests in our relationship with money. We save excessively, hesitate to invest, or cling to jobs we dislike because we fear financial instability. Even when we achieve financial security, the fear of losing it keeps us in a state of anxiety. We equate money with safety and comfort. Yet this fear-based approach keeps us from fully enjoying the wealth we do have. This belief extends beyond money into other areas of life. In relationships, we may hold on to unhealthy dynamics because we fear we won't find love elsewhere. We settle for less in friendships, jobs, or even our goals, convinced that opportunities are rare and fleeting. Scarcity makes us doubt our ability to attract what we desire, leaving us feeling powerless and constrained. Scarcity also impacts how we view time. We often say there's not enough time, as though time is slipping away from us. This belief leads to stress, overworking, and a constant feeling of urgency. We try to cram as much as possible into each day, fearing that we'll never achieve our goals if we don't rush. But in doing so, we often miss the richness of the present moment. The media and society reinforce this scarcity mindset, perpetuating the idea that we must compete to survive. Advertisements prey on our fear of missing out, urging us to act quickly before an opportunity disappears. We internalize these messages, believing that if we don't act now, we'll lose our chance forever. This fear of missing out drives us to make impulsive decisions that don't align with our true desires. One of the most damaging aspects of the scarcity mindset is that it keeps us from recognizing abundance. We focus so much on what we lack that we fail to see the blessings already present in our lives. This narrow focus blinds us to opportunities, connections, and resources that could help us grow. Scarcity creates a tunnel vision that limits our perspective. Scarcity also fosters jealousy and competition. When we believe there isn't enough to go around, we start comparing ourselves to others. We feel threatened by their success, as though their gain is our loss. This comparison breeds resentment and insecurity, further reinforcing the belief that we are falling behind. It becomes a vicious cycle that's hard to escape. The most insidious part of scarcity is that it feels real. The fear of lack feels so tangible that we accept it as truth. We act out of this fear, making decisions that reinforce the very scarcity we're trying to avoid. But what we don't realize is that scarcity is not an external reality, it's an internal belief. And like all beliefs, it shapes the way we experience the world. The need for approval is one of the most common drivers of human behavior. From a young age, we learn to seek validation from others, parents, teachers, friends, and society at large. This need becomes so ingrained that it often dictates our actions, shaping the way we live our lives. We work tirelessly to gain acceptance, hoping it will make us feel valued and secure. This approval seeking often starts with our families. As children, we depend on our parents for love and support, and we quickly learn that certain behaviors earn us praise while others result in disapproval. This conditional acceptance teaches us to modify our actions to please others, creating a lifelong pattern of seeking external validation. In school, the need for approval intensifies. We strive for good grades, participate in activities, and conform to social norms to gain the acceptance of peers and authority figures. This desire to fit in becomes a driving force, shaping our choices and suppressing our individuality. We learn to prioritize what others think over what we truly want. As adults, this need for approval becomes more subtle, but no less powerful. We choose careers, relationships, and lifestyles based on societal expectations, often at the expense of our own happiness. We fear being judged, rejected, or ridiculed. So we conform to the roles we believe will gain us the most acceptance. In doing so, we suppress our authentic selves. Social media has amplified this dynamic. The constant feedback loop of likes, comments, and shares creates a culture of performance, where we curate our lives to gain the approval of an online audience. We measure our worth by how others respond to us, forgetting that true validation comes from within. This digital approval seeking becomes addictive, reinforcing the belief that our value depends on others. The need for approval often leads to people pleasing. We say yes to things we don't want to do, agree with opinions we don't believe in, and suppress our true feelings to avoid conflict. This behavior creates resentment and drains our energy, but we continue because the fear of disapproval feels unbearable. We prioritize others' needs over our own, losing ourselves in the process. This constant striving for approval creates a fragile sense of self-worth. When others praise us, we feel good about ourselves. But when we face criticism or rejection, our confidence crumbles. We become dependent on external validation, unable to maintain a stable sense of self. This dependency keeps us trapped in a cycle of seeking approval, never feeling truly secure. The most damaging aspect of seeking approval is that it disconnects us from our true selves. We become so focused on what others want that we forget who we are and what we desire. We lose touch with our inner voice, relying instead on the opinions of others to guide us. This disconnection creates a deep sense of emptiness, no matter how much approval we receive. And yet, the need for approval feels so natural that we rarely question it. We believe that being accepted by others is essential for happiness, so we keep chasing it. But in doing so, we miss the opportunity to accept ourselves. True freedom comes not from gaining others' approval, but from realizing that we don't need it in the first place. Doubt is a silent thief that robs us of our potential. It whispers in our ears, telling us that we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to achieve our dreams. This self-doubt becomes a powerful force, shaping our decisions and actions in ways we often don't even realize. It keeps us small, afraid to step into the greatness that lies within us. This doubt is often instilled in us at a young age. Negative experiences, critical feedback, or failure can plant the seeds of doubt, making us question our abilities. Over time, these seeds grow into limiting beliefs that shape our self-image. We begin to see ourselves as less capable than we truly are, and this distorted view becomes our reality. Self-doubt shows up in many forms. It might look like procrastination, where we delay taking action because we fear failure. It might manifest as perfectionism, where we set impossibly high standards to prove our worth. Or it might appear as imposter syndrome, where we feel unworthy of our accomplishments and fear being exposed as a fraud. This doubt often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we don't believe in ourselves, we hold back, avoiding risks and opportunities that could lead to growth. Our lack of confidence signals to others that we're not capable, reinforcing our own belief. In this way, doubt perpetuates itself, keeping us stuck in a cycle of inaction and insecurity. One of the most insidious aspects of doubt is that it feels rational. It disguises itself as caution, logic, or humility, convincing us that playing small is the safest option. We tell ourselves, I'm just being realistic, but in reality, we're letting fear dictate our choices. This rationalization keeps us from challenging our doubts and stepping into our power. Doubt also thrives on comparison. When we look at others who seem more successful, talented, or confident, we begin to question our own worth. We focus on their strengths and our weaknesses, reinforcing the belief that we're not enough. This comparison blinds us to our own unique gifts and abilities, keeping us trapped in a cycle of inadequacy. Our self-doubt is often mirrored back to us by the world. When we project uncertainty, others pick up on it, treating us as less capable than we truly are. This external reinforcement makes our doubt feel even more real, creating a feedback loop that's hard to break. But what we don't realize is that this mirror can be changed the moment we shift our inner belief. Doubt is a natural part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to control us. The first step to overcoming it is recognizing it for what it is, a lie we've told ourselves. When we begin to challenge this lie and reconnect with our true power, we unlock a strength we never knew we had. And that strength has been within us all along, waiting to be claimed. The past is a powerful force. It shapes our memories, influences our identity, and provides context for the life we live today. But for many of us, the past becomes more than just a reference point, it becomes a prison. We replay old mistakes, dwell on missed opportunities, and cling to painful experiences as though they define us. This attachment to the past keeps us stuck, preventing us from fully embracing the present and moving forward. When we live in the past, we often focus on what went wrong. We replay moments of failure or heartbreak, analyzing every detail in an attempt to understand or change what cannot be undone. This rumination creates a cycle of regret and self-blame, where the weight of past mistakes feels heavier with each passing day. Instead of learning from the past, we become trapped by it. One of the reasons we cling to the past is because it feels familiar. Even if it was painful, it's something we know. The unknown future, on the other hand, can feel daunting. So we hold on to the past, using it as a shield against uncertainty. But this attachment comes at a cost. We carry the emotional burdens of yesterday into today, making it impossible to fully experience the present. Living in the past also impacts our relationships. We project old wounds onto new connections, expecting history to repeat itself. We fear trusting others because of betrayals we've experienced before, or we impose expectations on loved ones based on past dynamics. In doing so, we sabotage our relationships, recreating the very pain we're trying to avoid. Our attachment to the past is often tied to our identity. We define ourselves by our experiences, labeling ourselves as failures, victims, or unworthy based on what has happened to us. These labels become self-fulfilling prophecies, shaping the way we see ourselves and the choices we make. We limit our potential by clinging to a version of ourselves that no longer serves us. The past also fosters a fear of change. When we've experienced pain or loss, we become hesitant to embrace new opportunities, fearing that they'll lead to more of the same. This fear keeps us in our comfort zones, even when those zones are no longer comfortable. We settle for less because the thought of risking more feels too overwhelming. Ironically, our obsession with the past often blinds us to the lessons it holds. Instead of extracting wisdom from our experiences, we become consumed by their emotional impact. We miss the opportunity to grow because we're too focused on what we've lost. But the past is not meant to be a place of dwelling, it's meant to be a teacher. Living in the past also robs us of our power. When we're focused on what's already happened, we lose the ability to create what's yet to come. The energy we spend on regret, nostalgia, or resentment could be channeled into building a brighter future. But as long as we're tethered to the past, we remain stuck in a cycle of stagnation. What we fail to realize is that the past is not alive, it only exists in our minds. The events themselves are over, but our attachment to them keeps them alive in our thoughts. When we release this attachment, we free ourselves to live fully in the present, where our true power lies. The past cannot be changed, but it can be redefined through the lens of growth and resilience. Happiness is often viewed as something that comes from the outside, a result of circumstances, possessions, or relationships. We are taught to believe that if we just achieve certain goals, acquire specific things, or find the right person, we'll finally be happy. This belief drives much of what we do, yet it leaves us perpetually chasing something that always feels just out of reach. From an early age, we associate happiness with external rewards. As children, we're praised for good behavior or accomplishments, teaching us that happiness comes from pleasing others or achieving something tangible. So this conditioning carries into adulthood, where we equate success, wealth, or recognition with fulfillment. But no matter how much we achieve, the happiness we seek often remains elusive. This external pursuit of happiness keeps us in a constant state of wanting. We set goals telling ourselves, I'll be happy when I reach this milestone, but when we achieve it, the satisfaction is fleeting. We quickly move on to the next goal, convinced that it will bring lasting happiness. This cycle of chasing and achieving creates temporary highs, but leaves us feeling empty in the long run. One of the reasons external happiness is so fleeting is because it's conditional. It depends on factors outside our control, factors that can change or disappear at any moment. When we tie our happiness to a job, a relationship, or a material possession, we give those things power over our emotional well-being. If they're lost or taken away, our happiness goes with them. This dependency on external circumstances creates anxiety. We fear losing what makes us happy, so we cling to it tightly, often at the expense of our peace of mind. This fear-driven attachment keeps us from enjoying the very things we worked so hard to attain. Instead of feeling secure, we feel vulnerable, constantly worried about what might go wrong. Externalizing happiness also prevents us from looking within. When we believe that happiness comes from outside sources, we neglect the inner work required to cultivate lasting joy. We ignore our emotions, suppress our desires, and avoid confronting our fears, hoping that external achievements will compensate for our inner unrest. But true happiness cannot be outsourced, it must be cultivated from within. This external focus creates a sense of lack. No matter how much we have, it never feels like enough. We compare ourselves to others, measuring our happiness against their achievements, possessions, or lifestyles. This comparison breeds dissatisfaction, making us feel like we're falling short, even when we're doing well by our own standards. Ironically, the more we chase external happiness, the further we get from it. The things we think will make us happy often become burdens, jobs that drain us, possessions that clutter our lives, or relationships that feel unfulfilling. We realize too late that happiness isn't about having more, but about being content with what we already have. What we fail to see is that happiness is not something we find, it's something we create. It's a state of being that arises from within, independent of external circumstances. When we stop chasing happiness outside ourselves and start cultivating it within, we discover that it was never about the things or the achievements, it was always about the perspective. We live in a culture that glorifies hard work. We're told that success requires struggle, sacrifice, and relentless effort. This belief shapes the way we approach our goals, driving us to work harder and harder in the hope of earning what we desire. But this perception of effort often leads to burnout, frustration, and a sense that we're never doing enough. The idea that hard work equals worthiness is deeply ingrained in our society. From an early age, we're praised for our efforts and accomplishments, teaching us that our value comes from what we do. This conditioning creates a belief that if we're not working hard, we don't deserve success. We equate rest with laziness and productivity with self-worth. This belief drives us to overwork, often at the expense of our health, relationships, and happiness. We push ourselves to the limit, believing that the harder we work, the more we'll achieve. But instead of feeling fulfilled, we often feel exhausted and unappreciated. The endless grind leaves us questioning whether the effort is even worth it. One of the reasons this perception is so damaging is because it creates a sense of separation from our desires. We see success as something far away, requiring endless effort to reach. This mindset keeps us in a constant state of striving, never allowing us to feel satisfied with where we are. We become so focused on the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey. This approach to effort also blinds us to the power of alignment. When we're aligned with our goals and passions, effort feels natural and enjoyable. But when we force ourselves to do things out of obligation or fear, effort becomes a struggle. We confuse busyness with productivity, mistaking activity for progress. In doing so, we expend energy on tasks that don't truly serve us. The glorification of effort often leads to comparison. We measure our success against others, feeling inadequate if we're not working as hard or achieving as much. This comparison fuels a cycle of overworking, where we try to prove our worth through effort. But no matter how much we do, it never feels like enough, because the validation we seek is external. This misperception also creates resistance. When we believe that effort must be difficult, we unconsciously resist the flow of life. We make things harder than they need to be, creating obstacles where none exist. This resistance blocks the natural unfolding of our desires, keeping us stuck in a pattern of struggle and frustration. What we fail to realize is that effort doesn't have to be hard. When we shift our mindset and align with our desires, effort becomes effortless. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters. When we release the belief that success requires struggle, we open ourselves to a new way of being, where effort flows naturally and joyfully. This misperception of effort keeps us trapped in a cycle of striving, never allowing us to fully appreciate our achievements. But the truth is, effort is not the measure of worthiness, alignment is. When we align with our purpose, effort becomes a tool for creation, not a burden to bear. And in that alignment, we find the ease and fulfillment we've been searching for. Imagination is the most powerful tool we possess, yet it's often the most overlooked. From childhood, we are encouraged to use our imagination to play, dream, and create. But as we grow older, society begins to dismiss imagination as something frivolous, childish, or impractical. We're told to focus on reality, to be realistic, and to let go of daydreams. This dismissal of imagination is not just a loss, it's a tragedy. Because imagination is the very foundation of everything we create and experience. Imagination is not just about fantasy or escapism, it's the blueprint for our reality. Everything that exists in the physical world first began as an idea in someone's mind. The homes we live in, the technology we use, and even the social systems we navigate were all imagined before they became real. Yet we often fail to recognize that the same principle applies to our personal lives. The life you live right now is a reflection of the images and beliefs you've held in your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously. The power of imagination lies in its ability to shape our perception. What we imagine becomes the lens through which we see the world. If we imagine a future filled with success, joy, and abundance, we begin to align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with that vision. Conversely, if we dwell on fear, failure, and limitation, we create a reality that mirrors those images. The mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It treats both as truth. Despite its power, imagination is often misused. Instead of using it to envision possibilities, we use it to replay past failures or anticipate future problems. We imagine worst-case scenarios, feeding our fears and doubts, and in doing so, we unconsciously create the very outcomes we want to avoid. This misuse of imagination keeps us stuck, reinforcing a cycle of negativity and limitation. One of the reasons we ignore the power of imagination is because it feels intangible. We live in a society that values tangible results and immediate gratification, and imagination doesn't provide that. It's not something we can see, touch, or measure, at least not initially. But what we fail to understand is that everything tangible begins as intangible. The unseen always precedes the seen. Our education system also plays a role in suppressing imagination. From a young age, we are taught to prioritize logic, reason, and memorization over creativity and intuition. We are rewarded for following rules and regurgitating information rather than thinking outside the box. This emphasis on conformity stifles our ability to imagine freely, leaving us disconnected from our innate creative power. Imagination requires a level of trust and openness that many of us struggle with. It asks us to believe in possibilities that don't yet exist, to see beyond our current circumstances, and to embrace uncertainty. For those conditioned to rely on evidence and guarantees, this can feel uncomfortable or even foolish. But the truth is, imagination is not about wishful thinking, it's about planting seeds for the reality we want to create. Another reason we overlook imagination is because its results are not always immediate. When we imagine a new reality, it takes time for that vision to manifest in the physical world. This delay can lead to doubt and discouragement, causing us to abandon our vision prematurely. But just as a seed needs time to grow into a tree, our imagined realities need time to take shape. Patience is key. Imagination is also dismissed because it challenges the status quo. To imagine something new is to disrupt what already exists. It requires us to question, innovate, and dare to dream bigger than our current reality allows. This can be intimidating not just for us but for those around us. Society often resists change, and those who dare to imagine a different reality are often met with skepticism or criticism. When we ignore the power of imagination, we limit ourselves to the confines of what already exists. We become reactive rather than proactive, accepting life as it is rather than shaping it as we want it to be. This passive approach keeps us stuck in a cycle of repetition, where nothing new is created and growth becomes stagnant. Imagination is the key to breaking free from this cycle. The most profound aspect of imagination is its ability to bypass limitations. Where logic sees obstacles, imagination sees possibilities. Where reality feels constrained, imagination feels infinite. It allows us to dream beyond our current circumstances, to envision a reality that defies logic or probability. And when we hold on to that vision with conviction, we begin to shift our energy, attracting opportunities that align with our imagined reality. Imagination is not something that happens to us, it's something we actively engage in. It's a skill that can be cultivated and strengthened like a muscle. The more we practice imagining the life we desire, the more vivid and powerful our vision becomes. And the more vivid our vision, the more it begins to influence our thoughts, emotions, and actions, ultimately shaping the reality we experience. In ignoring the power of imagination, we ignore our ability to create. But when we reclaim this power, we step into a role far greater than we often realize. We become creators of our own reality, architects of our own destiny. Imagination is not just a tool, it's a gift, a divine ability that allows us to transcend limitations and bring our deepest desires to life. All it asks is that we use it. Now that we've unraveled the layers of why we do what we do and the forces shaping our lives, it's time to face a profound truth. Everything you've been searching for, striving for, and waiting for is already within your reach. You don't need to fight harder, chase faster, or prove more to the world. The life you desire begins with a choice to see differently, think differently, and live differently. We've explored the ways our need for validation keeps us trapped in cycles of seeking approval. We've seen how our desire for control limits our freedom, how fear of the unknown holds us back, and how our belief in scarcity blinds us to the abundance already surrounding us. Each of these habits, deeply ingrained, creates walls between us and the life we dream of. But what's important to understand is that these walls are not real, they're constructs of the mind. And because they are built by the mind, they can also be dismantled by it. Think of the power of your imagination, that divine gift you've been overlooking. It's the most potent tool you have to rewrite your reality. The life you want isn't something far away, it's something you already possess within your mind. When you learn to see with the eyes of imagination and trust the unseen as much as the seen, you'll begin to create effortlessly. What you focus on, what you believe in, And what you hold in your mind's eye with conviction becomes the blueprint for your life. The time has come to stop living in the past and to stop seeking happiness in external things. Happiness is not a destination, nor is it something someone else can give you. It is a state of being, a choice to align your thoughts with the truth that you are already complete. The same applies to self-doubt and fear. They are illusions that lose their power the moment you choose to step into your innate greatness. You've spent so much time living in the shadows of others' expectations, chasing after goals society told you were important, and fearing that you're not enough. But let me remind you, you are more than enough. You are powerful beyond measure. The fact that you are here, alive and capable of imagining a better future means that you already have the tools you need to create it. Imagine the version of yourself who is free from these limiting beliefs. This version of you doesn't seek approval because they know their worth. They don't fear the unknown because they trust the process of life. They don't feel trapped by scarcity because they recognize the abundance in every moment. And most importantly, they use the power of their imagination to shape their reality. This version of you isn't a distant dream, it's who you truly are, beneath all the layers of conditioning and doubt. The only thing separating you from this truth is your willingness to believe it and act on it. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you've always been. So as we conclude, ask yourself this: what life do you want to create? What reality do you want to experience? And most importantly, are you ready to claim what is already yours? Stop waiting for permission, for the perfect moment, or for external circumstances to change. The power to transform your life is already in your hands. It always has been. You already have it. Now it's time to see it, feel it, and step boldly into the life you've imagined. The only thing left to do is trust yourself and take the first step. The rest will unfold in ways more beautiful and profound than you could ever